But I can't heal you. While I was learning how to sit with my pain, you were finding new ways to escape your name. I was unpacking wounds I never chose. You were covering yours with temporary clothes. I spent nights trying to understand my fears, tracing old patterns through unfinished years, trying to become someone honest and whole, while you kept avoiding the weight of your soul. I thought we were growing side by side, but growth can't happen where truth has to hide. And slowly I started seeing the divide between someone devolving and someone disguised. You said healing takes time, and I agree, but healing still requires honesty. And every conversation circled back to me, while you stayed untouched by accountability. I was breaking cycles, facing what hurt. You were burying pain deeper in the dirt, and I kept waiting for you to meet me halfway, but you kept running every time I asked you to stay. I was healing while you were hiding, learning myself while you stayed divided. I was doing the work, you were avoiding the truth, and I kept losing myself trying to rescue you. I was broken while you stayed the same, calling avoidance by a softer name. Now I see what love can never do. I can heal myself, but I can't heal you. I remember how defensive you would get every time your reflection carried regret. You shut down, disappear, would turn cold, like vulnerability was something you couldn't hold. Meanwhile, I was learning how to speak without collapsing every time I felt weak, learning that emotions aren't shame, and healing means naming things by their name. I stopped blaming my heart for caring deep, stopped romanticizing wounds I couldn't keep. And while I was learning to stand in truth, you kept hiding behind the version of you that looked composed, unaffected, strong, but unresolved. Pain eventually comes along, and I could feel your silence in every room, like someone decorating emotional doom. I was opening doors you refused to touch. You said I was changing a little too much, but growth will always threaten people who hide, because truth shines light where excuses survive. I was healing while you were hiding, learning myself while you stayed divided. I was doing the work, you were avoiding the truth, and I kept losing myself trying to rescue you. I was growing while you stayed the same, calling avoidance by a softer name. Now I see what love can never do. I can heal myself, but I can't heal you. There were moments I wanted to pull you near, tell you healing doesn't disappear just because you ignore it another night. Pain still waits in the dark without light, but every time I reached, you pulled away, turning discomfort into delay. And I confused patience with loyalty, while carrying both our emotional gravity. I started realizing how tired I felt, trying to help someone unwilling to help themselves, because growth cannot be dragged by force, and love alone can't change someone's course. You wanted comfort without reflection, connection without introspection, and I finally understood something true. Healing scares people who avoid what they've been through. I stopped begging you to open your heart, because healing only works when someone starts. And I couldn't keep shrinking my own progress just to protect your emotional mass. I was healing while you were hiding, learning myself while you stayed divided. I was doing the work, you avoiding the truth, and I kept losing myself trying to rescue you. I was growing while you stayed wasn't here. So I started choosing silence over chasing. Stopped trying to force emotional face. And I realized my peace mattered too. And healing meant releasing you. Not because I stopped caring overnight, but because love shouldn't require self-abandoning fight. It's been too long carrying hope alone, trying to build growth from emotional stone. And slowly I began returning to me, to the person I was becoming quietly. Someone softer, wiser, less afraid. Someone no longer begging love to stay. I learned healing isn't always loud. Sometimes it's walking away without a crowd. Sometimes it's finally understanding this: you can love someone deeply and still coexist with distance. And for the first time I stopped feeling guilt for choosing myself instead of what we built. Because healing also means knowing when you can't keep reopening wounds again. I was healing while you were hiding, learning myself while you stayed divided. I was doing the work, you were avoiding the truth, and I kept losing myself trying to rescue you. I was growing while you stayed the same, calling avoidance by a softer name. Now I see what love could never do. I can heal myself, but I can't heal you. But I can't heal you. While I was learning how to sit with my pain, you were finding new ways to escape your name. I was unpacking wounds I never chose. You were covering yours with temporary clothes. I spent nights trying to understand my fears, tracing old patterns through unfinished years, trying to become someone honest and whole, while you kept avoiding the weight of your soul. I thought we were growing side by side, but growth can't happen where truth has to hide. And slowly I started seeing the divide between someone evolving and someone disguised. You The first time I said that hurt me, you got quiet for days, like honesty was betrayal in some unforgivable way. I remember shrinking right there in the room, watching my needs suddenly become doom. You made boundaries feel cruel and cold, like protecting myself meant I loved you less as a whole. So I started apologizing for basic things, for needing rest, for space, for breathing. Every limit I placed became a fight, every note turned into a lonely night. And I learned how easily guilt could grow when someone benefits from you having none at all. I confused access with love for so long, thought self-sacrifice meant the feeling was strong. But real love doesn't punish your truth just because it no longer serves someone's use. You called me distant when I chose peace, selfish when I stopped overextending me. And I kept wondering if maybe you were right, while losing myself trying to keep us alive. You turned my boundaries into problems, like self-respect was something new. Every time I chose myself, you made me feel wrong, like love meant enduring hurt for too long. You turned my healing into distance, my self-protection into resistance. But now I see what I couldn't then. Boundaries don't end love, they reveal who respects it. You liked me better when I was available, always reachable, endlessly dependable. When my time, my energy, my heart could be stretched apart without falling apart. But the moment I started protecting my peace, you treated my growth like a personal grief, like my healing somehow wounded you, because I stopped doing what I used to do. answering every late night call, stopped abandoning myself through it all. And suddenly I became hard to reach, just because I stopped letting you emotionally feed. You wanted unlimited access to me without accountability or reciprocity. And when I finally saw the imbalance clear, you called my self-respect fear. But I'm not cold for needing space, not wrong for choosing my own grace. And anyone threatened by healthy lines was never honoring this heart of mine. You turn my boundaries into problems, like self-respect was something to solve. And every time I chose myself, you made me feel wrong, like love meant enduring hurt for too long. You turn my healing into distance, my self-protection into resistance. But now I see what I couldn't then. Boundaries don't end love, they reveal who respects it. I used to think saying no made me difficult, that asking for consistency was somehow hateful, because you trained me to associate care with overgiving until nothing was there. I carried guilt every time I pulled away, even when exhaustion begged me to stay. And I realize now how deeply I learned to abandon myself just to feel earned. But boundaries are now walls made from hate, they are doors deciding what gets access to my space. And the people who truly love your soul won't punish you for protecting it whole. I see now why you resisted my growth, because limits expose what control needs most. And the healthier I became inside, the less your manipulation could survive. I don't know anyone endless pieces of me just because they're uncomfortable with boundaries. And I'm done apologizing for needing peace, for choosing rest, for finally choosing me. Now my notes sound softer but stronger somehow, no anger behind it, just truth now. No explaining myself into the ground, no guilt every time I turn around, because I finally learned love and access are not the same no matter how someone acts. And the people meant for me will understand that self-respect is not rejection at hand. I'm no longer afraid to disappoint people who benefited from my breaking point, because healing taught me something deep. The version of me without boundaries can never keep me safe. And maybe you'll never understand why I changed, why I stopped bending just to ease your pain. But I understand now, and that's enough. I deserve a love that honors my limits without making it tough. You turn my boundaries into problems, but now I know that wasn't love then. Every time I chose myself, you called it wrong, because my silence had protected you too long. You turned my healing into distance, my self-respect into resistance. But I finally see what I couldn't then. Boundaries don't ruin love, they reveal who never respected it. I'm not hard to love, because I have limits. I'm finally safe to love, because I do. I miss the version of me that laughed without thinking, before love became overanalyzing and shrinking, before I learned how to read every silence is danger, before comfort slowly started turning to anger. I used to speak without rehearsing my tone, without fearing being misunderstood or alone. I used to trust what I felt in my chest. Now I second guess everything I know best. You didn't change me all at once, that's the truth. It happened quietly in the shadow of you. One compromise became another disguise, and slowly I disappeared behind my own eyes. I started becoming Someone careful and small, someone always waiting for the emotional fall. And I called it love because I wanted it real, even while forgetting how I used to feel. I lost pieces of myself trying to keep you near, ignore my own voice just to reduce your fear. Now I'm standing in the silence you left, trying to remember the person I was before this. I miss who I was before you, before confusion felt familiar and true, before I carried pain like something I deserved, before loving you made me unsure of my worth. I miss the lightness I used to know, the version of me that could freely grow. Now I'm searching through everything we went through, trying to find who I was before you. I miss how music used to sound in my ears, before every love song started tasting like tears. I miss sleeping through the night without dread, without replaying every word that was said. I used to dream bigger than survival, used to believe love and peace could coexist together. Now I know what it feels like to fade inside a connection where clarity decayed. You made me feel difficult for having needs, like emotional honesty was something extreme. And over time I learned to silence myself just to avoid becoming too much for someone else. I stopped dressing like the person I knew, stopped speaking the way I naturally do. Even my reflection started looking strange, like my soul could no longer recognize the change. I became fluid in abandoning me, just to maintain your version of harmony. And now I'm grieving someone still alive, the self I buried trying to survive. I miss who I was before you, before my confidence became see-through, before I measured every word and move, before I forgot what made me feel true. I miss the peace I used to hold, before love started feeling cold. Now I'm searching through everything we went through, trying to find who I was before you. There were moments I almost blamed myself for becoming someone I never wanted to be. But identity loss doesn't happen in one night. It happens slowly when survival replaces light. When you're constantly adapting to emotional shifts, trying to avoid distance, conflict, and rifts, you stop asking what you actually need and start becoming whoever keeps someone from leaving. I thought love meant flexibility and sacrifice, but not at the cost of my own inner life. Because love should expand you, not erase. Should feel like safety, not emotional chase. And now I understand the exhaustion I carried, the grief of becoming emotionally buried. I wasn't weak for losing parts of me, I was trying to survive instability. But I hear myself again sometimes, in little moments, in quiet signs, in laughter that doesn't feel forced anymore, in peace that doesn't feel like war. And maybe I'll never be who I was then, but maybe healing isn't becoming them again. Maybe it's meeting someone softer and true on the other side of surviving you. So now I'm learning myself slowly again, not through your eyes, not through all pain. I'm relearning what makes my spirit feel safe, what kind of love doesn't require shape-shifting for space. I'm letting my voice return naturally, without fear attached to honesty. I'm wearing pieces of myself I once hid, letting joy exist where survival once lived. And sometimes grief still hits unexpectedly for the version of me that existed freely. But I honor them now instead of pretending like losing myself was just part of loving, because I know I didn't then. Love should never cost your sense of self within. And if I have to disappear to make love stay true, then it's not love worth holding on to. I miss who I was before you, but I'm slowly becoming someone new. Someone who trusts their heart again. Someone who knows all the bands. I miss the innocence I once knew, but I survived what I went through. And now I'm building something honest and true from the pieces I lost in loving you. I thought healing meant becoming my old self again, but maybe healing is finally becoming someone who'd never abandon themselves for love again. You always loved me most when I was uncertain, when my confidence sat behind closed curtains, when I looked to you to define what was real, instead of trusting my own mind to feel. You let me softer in the worst kind of way, not gentle, just easier to persuade, easier to guilt, easier to bend, easier to keep emotionally dependent. Every time I started finding my ground, you say something subtle to pull me back down. A joke about my dreams, a sigh of my growth. Little things designed to weaken me slow. And I kept confusing control with care, because manipulation doesn't always announce itself. That sometimes it sounds like I just want what's best, while quietly placing weight on your chest. The stronger I became, the colder you grew, like my healing was threatening something in you. And I finally understand what I couldn't see then. You needed my weakness to feel like you could win. You needed me broken to stay, needed my self-worth out of the way, needed me doubting my own mind, so I never realized what love should feel like. You needed me tired, afraid, confused, small enough to keep choosing you. But now I see through everything you made. You didn't want love, you wanted someone easier to control and persuade. Oh, every time I started standing tall, you found a way to make me feel small. Oh, but broken people eventually see who benefits from their fragility. Hey, you praise my loyalty when it looked like silence, when I tolerate emotional violence, when I stayed after nights that should have ended us, because my fear of leaving was bigger than trust. You called me safe when I stopped asking questions, when I abandoned my own perceptions, when I let your moods decide my worth, and carried your chaos like emotional work. I became careful with every success, because confidence seemed to make you love me less. And every time I glow too bright, you found a reason to dim my light. I didn't notice it at first, how deep it ran, how control can disguise itself as a helping hand, until I realized love shouldn't demand that I stay wounded just to be understood by someone. You were comfortable when I couldn't see how much of myself I had buried beneath. But healing changes the way truth appears, and suddenly manipulation becomes clear. You needed me broken to stay, needed my self-worth out of the way, needed me doubting my own mind, so I never realized what love should feel like. You needed me tired, afraid, confused, small enough to keep choosing you. But now I see through everything you made. You didn't want love, you wanted someone easier to control and persuade. I remember the guilt that lived in my chest every time I tried choosing myself instead. Like protecting my peace was somehow betrayal, and freedom and emotional failure. You trained me slowly to fear my own growth, to associate distance with losing us both. So I stayed smaller than I needed to be, just to keep you emotionally close to me. But people who truly love you don't panic when you become stronger, clearer, more grounded. They don't punish your healing or resent your voice. They don't fear what happens when you finally have choice. And that realization shatters something deep. All the illusions I struggle to keep, because I saw how your affection changed shape whenever I stopped being easy to manipulate. I'm not hard to love because I learned my worth. You just lost control the moment I returned to the parts of me you try to erase, the parts that no longer beg for a place. You called it distance, attitude, pride, but it was just me finally standing upright. And you hated every inch of my healing, because control dies when someone starts believing in themselves again. Now I look back with clearer eyes at all the moments disguised as compromise, and I see how often I abandoned my truth just to remain emotionally useful to you. I confused survival with devotion for years, mistook anxiety for love mixed with fear. But real love doesn't require collapse, doesn't thrive with self-respect cracks. So now I'm rebuilding without your voice. Learning peace is a day choice. Learning my softness was never weak, that my boundaries don't make me hard to keep. I'm no longer apologizing for growing away from the version of me that needed you to stay, because healing taught me something true. Anyone threatened by your wholeness was never safe for you. You needed me broken to stay, needed me smaller, quieter, easier to shake, needed me disconnected from myself. So I keep placing you above my mental health. But now I see through everything you made, every guilt trip, every game you played. And I finally know what love should be, someone who grows with me, not someone who needs me weak to stay beneath them emotionless. You didn't lose me when I changed, you lost me when I realized my brokenness was never proof of love. I thought peace meant not arguing anymore, not bringing up the things that hurt before, not making waves, not needing too much, just keeping everything soft to the touch. So I became careful with every emotion, learned how to bury discomfort in motion. If something hurt, I swallowed it fast, convinced myself silence would finally make things last. I started measuring the weight of my words, deciding which truths deserve to be heard. And most nights, none of them made the cut, because honesty always seemed to disrupt. You like me easiest when I stay calm, when I absorb tension instead of sounding alarms. And I thought that meant we were finally okay, but I was just disappearing in a quieter way. I called it peace because nothing exploded, while my inner world stayed overloaded. And slowly I started understanding this, silence and safety are not the same thing. I confused peace with silence, thought losing my voice meant we were finally balanced. Thought swallowing pain meant I was mature, when really I was just becoming unsure. now I hear the truth inside of me. Peace was never meant to cost my honesty. I was quiet but never okay. I was surviving more than I could say. And the truth kept living underneath, waiting for me to finally breathe. There were conversations I replayed for weeks, things I wanted to say but never released. Cause every time I tried to be real, you made discomfort seem dangerous to feel. So I adapted in the way people do when love starts depending on pleasing you. I stopped asking questions, stopped expressing pain, and caught emotional numbness change. I became proud of how little I needed, even while internally feeling defeated. Like if I could master silence enough, maybe I'd finally become easy to love. But easy isn't always healthy or true. Sometimes it's just fear shaping you. And I didn't realize how lonely I'd grown until I sat with myself completely alone. That's when I heard everything I buried alive, every truth that I muted just to survive. And for the first time I understood clearly, my silence had never actually healed me. I confused peace with silence, thought shrinking myself meant avoiding violence, thought staying agreeable made love secure, when really I was slowly becoming obscure. I confused calm with emotional absence, confused numbness with inner balance. But now I hear the truth inside of me. Peace was never meant to silence me completely. I remember how exhausted I became, trying to maintain emotional restraint, pretending things didn't affect me deeply, just because honesty made you uneasy. I stopped trusting my instincts over time, started thinking discomfort was all in my mind. But your body keeps score of hidden grief, even when your mouth refuses relief. And mine was tired in ways I couldn't explain, heavy with unsaid words and invisible pain. I thought maturity meant enduring quietly, not realizing truth also deserves dignity. Because real peace doesn't fear discussion, doesn't require emotional deduction, it doesn't punish vulnerability with withdrawal, or make honesty feel dangerous at all. So now I'm learning a different kind of peace, one where my inner truth gets released, one where my needs don't disappear just because someone else is uncomfortable hearing them clear. My voice shakes sometimes when I speak, but at least now it belongs to me. At least now I no longer confuse. Silence was something safe to choose. I still catch myself wanting to retreat, to keep things smooth, controlled and complete. But healing keeps teaching me slowly that truth deserves air just as much as harmony. So I'm practicing honesty without shame, saying what hurts without needing blame, letting discomfort exist without fear, because suppressed truth is what brought me here. And maybe some people will leave when I speak, maybe honesty makes fragile love weak, but I'd rather lose what depends on my silence than lose myself again in emotional compliance. I know now what I couldn't see before. Peace isn't the absence of war, it's the presence of safety, honesty, and room for your soul to exist without shrinking in the room. I confuse peace with silence, thought hiding myself meant emotional balance, thought keeping quiet would keep love alive, while my inner truth barely survived. Now I understand what peace really means, a life where honesty can finally breathe. And I will never again betray myself just to make silence wasn't peaceful, I was unheard. And there's a difference I'll never ignore again. You heard me, you just didn't care. I used to think maybe I wasn't explaining it right. Maybe if I found the perfect words, we'd be alright. So I rewrote my feelings 1,000 different ways, trying to make my pain easier for you to face. I softened my tone, I chose my timing with care. Waited for moments when the air felt clear. I tried being patient, calm, understanding too, because I wanted connection, not a fight with you. But every conversation seemed to end the same. My hurt became a burden, my knees became blame. And somehow I always left carrying the weight of things you never wanted to validate. I spent so much time wondering what I missed, looking for misunderstanding where none existed, until one day a truth landed hard and clear. You heard every word, I just wasn't a priority to hear. I kept changing the message when the problem wasn't the message at all. I kept searching for better language while my heart was quietly taking the fall. You heard me, you just didn't care. Every cry for help was hanging in the air. I wasn't invisible, you knew I was there. You heard me, you just didn't care. And that's the part that hurt the most. Not confusion, not distance, not letting go, but realizing all along you were aware. You heard me, you just didn't care. I remember all the nights I explained my fears, trying to make sense of the tears, telling you exactly what was breaking me down, only to watch your attention leave the room. You'd nod your head like you understood, say all the things that sounded good, but nothing changed after the words were done. And eventually promises became another form of none. I started questioning myself again. Maybe I was too emotional, too sensitive then. Maybe expecting care was asking too much. Baby, love was supposed to feel this rough, but deep inside I knew something wasn't right. Love shouldn't require begging every night, and being understood means very little in the end if understanding never turns into action again. You knew exactly where it hurt, you just never chose to stay there with me. And that kind of loneliness feels worse than someone who simply doesn't see. You heard me, you just didn't care. Every cry for help was hanging in the air. I wasn't invisible, you knew I was there. You heard me, you just didn't care. And that's the part that hurt the most. Not confusion, not distance, not letting go, but realizing all along you were aware. You heard me, you just didn't care. There's a special kind of grief that comes from this, not being ignored but being dismissed, knowing someone understands your pain completely and still choosing not to meet it meaningfully. I wasn't asking you to fix every scar or carry every piece of my heart. I just wanted to know that when I spoke, the words mattered enough not to be smoke. Instead I became an expert at repeating myself, explaining wounds, explaining my mental health, explaining why certain things cut so deep, while you acted like concern was something cheap. And slowly I stopped sharing altogether, not because I healed, not because I got better, but because rejection gets exhausting after a while. And silence starts looking safer than another trial. That's when I lost something inside, not my voice, but my belief that if I spoke honestly enough, someone would finally meet me underneath. You heard me, you just didn't care. Every cry for help was hanging in the air. I wasn't invisible, you knew I was there. You heard me, you just didn't care. And that's the part that hurt the most. Not confusion, not distance, not letting go, but realizing all along you were aware. You hurt me, you just didn't care. But here's what I know now: my needs were never too much, my feelings were never too heavy, my heart was never too difficult to touch. The right people won't need endless explanations. They won't treat vulnerability like an inconvenience, and they won't call love communication while ignoring everything communication reveals. I spent years thinking I needed to speak better, when really I needed to be heard better. And those are not the same thing at all. Now when I look back, I don't feel the same anger, just sadness for the version of me that stayed there, trying to earn care from someone who had already decided that my pain wasn't something worth standing beside. I see how hard I worked to be understood, how often I gave more than I should. And for the first time, I don't blame myself for wanting emotional help, because needing care isn't weakness or neediness. It's part of being human, part of consciousness. And anyone who makes you feel guilty for that is teaching you abandonment disguised as fact. So now I'm learning something beautiful and rare. Just because you didn't care doesn't mean I wasn't worth caring for. It only means you couldn't give what I was asking for. You heard me, you just didn't care. I thought we were building something honest and deep, while you were calculating what you needed to keep. I was opening doors I'd never opened before. You were deciding how much effort was worth giving more. I was learning your fears, your scars, your past, trying to build something that could actually last. You were learning the minimum required to stay, just enough to keep me from walking away. I thought every conversation brought us closer somehow, but looking back I see the difference now. I was investing my heart into what we could be, while you were managing the version of me you needed to see. I gave you honesty, you gave me strategy. I gave you vulnerability, you gave me practicality. And I couldn't understand why love felt incomplete, when one person was building and one was maintaining the receipt. I thought we were growing together, but we were standing in different places entirely. I was trying to know your soul, you were trying to manage my expectations. Quietly I was loving you, you were managing me, giving just enough to keep me believing. I was giving my heart, you were controlling the speed, making sure I never got more than you and then me to need. I was dreaming of forever, you were measuring the cost, and I didn't see the difference until everything was lost. I was loving you completely, while you were just managing me. You always knew exactly what to say whenever I got close to walking away. Not enough to fix what was broken inside, just enough to keep hope alive. You become affectionate when distance appeared, attentive whenever I became unclear, like my leaving activated something in you. but my staying never seemed to do it too. I confused inconsistency with complexity, mistook breadcrumbs for emotional intimacy, because every small effort felt so bright after spending weeks in an emotional night. And every time I asked for something real, you'd make me feel like I was asking for a deal, like wanting reciprocity was somehow unfair, when all I ever wanted was for you to be there. You mastered the art of keeping me close without ever fully showing up, and I mastered the art of calling it love, because the truth felt too hard to touch. I was loving you, you were managing me, giving just enough to keep me believing. I was giving my heart, you were controlling the speed, making sure I never got more than you wanted me to need. I was dreaming of forever, you were measuring the cost, and I didn't see the difference until everything was lost. I was loving you completely while you were just managing. I remember how tired I became, carrying the emotional weight of two names, always initiating, always reaching out, always trying to work through every doubt. And when things got hard, I leaned in closer while you leaned back, and became harder to know. I thought love meant fighting for each other through pain, but I was the only one standing in the rain. You wanted the comfort of being loved without the vulnerability love is made of. You wanted connection without exposure, the benefits of intimacy without disclosure. And slowly the imbalance became clear. I was bringing my whole self here, while you carefully measured every part of yours, keeping one foot permanently near the door. The hardest truth wasn't losing you, it was realizing how long I'd been alone, trying to build a relationship with someone committed to emotional postponement. It's loving you, you were managing me, giving just enough to keep me believing. I was giving my heart, you were controlling the speed, making sure I never got more than you wanted me to need. I was dreaming of forever, you were measuring the cost, and I didn't see the difference until everything was lost. I was loving you completely while you were just managing. Now I understand I always was hungry, why reassurance disappears so quickly, why every good moment felt borrowed instead of mine, why peace never seemed to last through time. Because love can't thrive where effort is rationed, where affection is offered in calculated fractions. And no matter how deeply one person feels, a relationship can't survive on one person's will. I deserve someone who met me halfway, someone who didn't make consistency feel rare, someone who loved me openly instead of managing my presence carefully. And when I look back, I don't feel ashamed, but love it in deeply for showing up that way. If anything, I'm proud of the heart I gave, even if it was offered in the wrong place. Because loving fully was never my mistake, the mistake was accepting less than I could take, confusing maintenance with devotion, and emotional availability with occasional emotion. I've learned that mutual love feels different. It doesn't leave you constantly searching for evidence. It doesn't require endless convincing or pursuit. It meets your honesty with honesty too. And now I know what I couldn't see then, that love should feel like partnership, not management. I saw your name the other day, and for a second I expected the ache, the familiar pull, the unfinished grief, the version of me that still believed. But something strange happened instead. I smiled softly and kept moving ahead. Not because the memories disappeared, but because the person who carried them isn't here. I used to think losing you would break me, like my future somehow depended on you choosing me. I built entire worlds around your approval, made your presence feel essential to my survival. And now I look back with gentler eyes at all the ways I compromised. Not because I didn't know better then, but because I was still becoming who I am. I don't judge the person I used to be. They were loving the best way they knew how. But growth has a way of changing everything, and I can finally see that now. I outgrew the version of me that loved you, the one who stayed when they needed to move, the one who confused waiting with devotion and caught uncertainty in motion. I outgrew the fear of losing you and found the strength to choose what's true. Loved you endlessly. That version of me was always hoping, always searching for signs and moments, turning breadcrumbs into promises and inconsistency into evidence. They thought patience could heal distance, thought loyalty could create commitment, thought if they loved hard enough, long enough, something inside you would finally open up. They ignored their intuition, repeatedly mistaken anxiety for chemistry, calling emotional exhaustion passion, and self-abandonment compassion. I understand why they stayed so long, why every goodbye felt wrong, because they were trying to earn something that was never theirs to win. And if I could talk to them today, I'd tell them they were never hard to love. They were just standing in the wrong place, waiting for from an empty cup. But I outgrew the version of me that loved you, the one who stayed when they needed to move, the one who mistook longing for connection and confusion for affection. I outgrew the fear of being alone and finally learned to stand on my own. I don't hate you, I just see differently. I outgrew the version of me that loved you endlessly. Sometimes healing isn't letting go of someone else, it's letting go of the version of yourself that believed they had to shrink to be chosen, or stay silent to keep something open. I spent years trying to become enough for love that was never built to hold me up, and every compromise felt small at first, until I couldn't recognize my own worth. But growth is strange and beautiful too. It arrives quietly without asking you. One day you wake up and realize you stop viewing yourself through someone else's eyes, and suddenly things that once felt impossible become obvious, clear and visible. You stop romanticizing the pain and start honoring what it taught instead. I don't miss you the way I used to. I miss the hope sometimes, that's true. But even that hope belonged to a version of me, still learning what love should actually be. And I thank him now for getting me here, for surviving the confusion and fear, because without their mistakes and scars, I wouldn't know my own heart the way I do now. Now I choose people who choose me back, not perfectly but without making me act, not people who treat love like a reward or leave me wondering what I'm working toward. I trust my instincts more these days. I listen when my spirit says this connection costs too much, or this doesn't feel like genuine love. I've learned that self-worth changes everything, The standards you keep, the songs you sing, the doors you close, the ones you unlock, the things you're willing and unwilling to accept. And maybe that's the real ending here. Not losing the pain or forgetting the years, but becoming someone who finally knows they deserve the kind of love that grows. I outgrew the version of me that loved you, the one who thought heartbreak was something to push through, the one who kept waiting for you to change while abandoning themselves in exchange. I outgrew the fear of losing what wasn't mine and found a peace I couldn't find at the time. I don't hate you, I don't need to. I just outgrew the version of me that loved you. You didn't become a worse person, and I didn't become a better one. I just became someone who finally understood that love should never require me to leave myself behind.